Thank y'all for tuning back in to your favorite channel. It's your boy Pelican Bay Canines giving it to you the way I always do, fair and unbiased. Some gonna like it, some ain't, man. Some gonna like it, some ain't. Hit that subscribe button if y'all haven't hit that subscribe button yet. Don't forget to hit it. Hit them likes up, and don't forget to get up in them comments. You know what I'm saying? Don't forget to get up in them comments like you always do. Um, Today I got a special guest. We got brother Working Line K9s in the building. Hey, Working Line, I can hear the echo again. That's because you driving?
Yeah, that's why I'm driving. I'm about to pull over at this gas station up here.
Okay, okay,
Hold on.
okay. Yes,
Bear with me for
yes,
a second.
sir. Shout out to all my bulldogs, man, from the east to the north to the south to the west, like I always say. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all the bulldogs across the world that's rocking with PVK9s. I'm rocking with you as well, man. Hey, like I say, man, we in here with Working Line K9 today. My young brother, you know what I'm saying? We about to talk a little bit of that dog talk. And I'm kind of curious because I was looking online, you know what I'm saying? And I see something and I want to ask the brother about it. So I brought him on, and we want to talk some dog talk. Before we talk about that, let me ask you a question. Um, what made you get into this breed of dogs?
Well, what made me get into pit bulls, honestly, I was always infatuated with the dogs since I was a little kid. And it was always the breed of dog that I favored more than any other breed. And yeah, and I had got a red dog from Chicago. I was looking to get into the breeding old family reds, but as I progressed and got older, I started my chase. I could just say my taste in dogs changed. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah. I feel you on that. I feel you on
can you hear
that.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you clear, bro. I can hear you
Damn,
clear.
did you freeze?
Nah, I mean, I can
Yeah,
hear you. You good?
yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. All right. All right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, out of the old, out of all the dog history, who do you think is one of the top old school dog men?
Well, I would say
You broke up on me, bro.
Earl Two. I've never owned a pit bull that didn't go back to two door dogs.
Yo,
Um,
I didn't hear nothing you said just now. You was froze on me. Can you repeat that for me, if you don't mind?
you said what?
Can you repeat it for me? I didn't hear none of that stuff you was saying just now, bro. It froze up on me over here.
Oh, I said my Earl Two Door for sure, and
Oh,
I like Earl Two Door, Gary Hammonds, you know, just Bob Niblett, Ken Soderlin. You know, if you want to talk about people that's alive, it's a lot of old. It's been so many dog men throughout the years that I wouldn't be able to name all of the dog men that because I don't really think one particular dog man was better than the other because everybody had their own flavors.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I feel you on that. Feel you on that.
You know.
Being that you a young brother, come, when I say this, I don't mean like you just starting in the pit bulls, but I mean
Yeah.
being that you're a young brother, how did you find older brothers accepting you and when you ask them questions and when you trying to learn certain things, how did you find that they was acting?
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
actually, you know, I get exactly what you mean, and how I jumped into the game. I jumped in like anybody else with just Craigslist dogs, and I worked my way from there.
Yeah,
And to be
yeah,
honest with you, and I had dogs with no papers, and then I had people hating on me saying my dogs with no papers was no good, so I went and got ADBA dogs. And when
yeah,
I got into the ADBA dogs, it changed the way that I looked at pit bulls. It changed the way that I worked with these dogs. Everything I never keep conditioned or any of that stuff with my dogs. They were just strictly house pets and pets until I got into game bred American pit bull terriers, you know, through the ADBA and from going to dog shows and talking to other dog men and YouTube and just, Facebook groups, stuff like that. I kind of gradually worked my way into the dogs, but to be honest with you, paying, I looked for dogs that I liked, not from mostly pedigrees, but I looked at dogs that I liked, by the way they look and stuff like that, the way
Yeah.
they act. And I bought certain particular dogs that just made an impression on me to where I have a different understanding now of the American Pit Bull Terrier.
You you break it up on me, bro.
Black pit bulls, black Eli dogs over any other dogs.
What you were saying about the black Eli dogs? You say you like them?
Shut up. You said what?
What you were saying about the black Eli dogs? You were saying you like them because you froze up, but I just caught when you say about the Eli dogs.
Hold on. Damn. Yo,
Yeah.
my bad.
Whenever you move, you reception changing.
Hello.
Yeah, you can hear me?
Yeah, I hear you clear.
Yeah.
So
Uh
yeah, like I said, just from getting different, buying different random bloodlines of pit bulls and working with them, I just started getting the understanding of what I liked in certain traits in different dogs. So now I'm kind of just trying to breed for the traits that I like in these dogs, and I'm not really focused on breeding dogs right now, but just obtaining dogs from other dog men that I feel are quality dogs that I cannot point a flaw out in, dogs that I don't have to work on or make a better pit bull. I feel like as a young man in this pit bull stuff, pit bull's been around long enough that I don't have to make the perfect pit bull. Other
yeah.
dog men have already worked hundreds of years to make the dogs that we have today. So all I'm trying to do is look for the traits in these dogs that I like and pass them on to the next generation of dogs that I get. And it's not like I'm grabbing two pedigrees and saying, "Oh, this is gonna look pretty together, pure." I don't care about pure. I don't care about necessarily anything other than the performance of the actual dogs that I have.
Yeah. Gotcha. Hey, I respect that 100%, my brother. I respect that 100%. All right. Now, I got some more questions I'm gonna ask you, you know what I'm saying? But we gonna jump right into it because I know my brothers out there, they wanna hear what we got to talk about. We gonna jump right into it.
Yeah.
My first question is question that you dropped down in the chat in the message board. It is let me see. A cold dog is better than a cur. Or a cur is better than a cold dog, is what you said. Which one do you think is best? Cold dog or the cur?
Yo, we cut out.
All right. I was telling them about the message, on the message board, the
Yeah.
post you had made. What do you think is better, the cur or the cold dog? When you were saying,
Well, in my opinion, the cold dog
yeah,
is worse than the cur dog.
yeah,
Because if we go on a hog hunt and I take a cold dog out and a cur dog out, the cur dog is gonna hunt, right?
yeah,
But the cold dog is gonna just stand there.
yeah, yeah,
So, in my opinion, a lot of people like to breed cold dogs, and they shun cur dogs. Nobody want to breed a cur dog, but it's okay to breed a cold dog.
yeah.
But in my opinion, a cold dog is a cur dog. It's worse than a cur dog because it's a cur dog that never cranked up.
Okay, okay. I feel you on that. I feel you on that.
So how I look at it is that's a very undesirable trait. Now, your man BKK Gilbert said that a cold dog is basically a defective trait in the dogs that basically is obsolete because you could breed that dog and still get the genetics out of it that you want, but at the same time, you're passing them cold genetics on through the dogs.
Yeah,
And what I've noticed from dealing with other breeds of dogs like Patterdales or even game birds is that animals that had just the second generation, all their grandparents were game and both parents were game. Animals that were bred like this, every female was a game animal.
yeah,
I noticed that those dogs are way more likely to produce than dogs that come off of dogs with cold bitches. Now, I've never seen any pit bull, fancier pit bull breeder or anybody in history breed nothing but, top of the line, top quality game dog females. Every breeder that I've seen from the past was guilty of breeding non-titled dogs, non-titled females to titled males.
Yeah.
So how are these people, these old heads, gonna say that, oh, it doesn't make a difference if you breed titled females if they never did it?
You right. You right, bro.
So what I've seen from experience, when my buddy Sam McCool took them blue stump dogs, blue dogs ain't supposed to be game.
Yeah.
That's a whole different subject. He took these blue stump dogs, he bred a game dog to a game dog, and all 8 puppies came out game, and they all died and proved themselves game. With
They was
hogs in the wild, in the field, in the yard. I watched all these dogs crash out. They all died.
they was off a
So
blue dog.
yeah, all those that first litter, every last one of those 8 dogs is dead, and
Damn.
all of them died game. None of them quit. None of them even. I've never seen one of those dogs turn. They
Damn.
don't turn. So how you gonna say when we inbred those dogs that were already inbred, we got more dogs that were game? Eight more of them. Every last one of them game.
So let me
This
ask you a
happened
question.
for 4 generations in a row. I never seen a cold or a cur dog.
Let me ask you a question about that real quick. I didn't mean to cut you off. Before we get further down, why you talking about the blue game dog? Why do you think out of all these years that the blue pit bull existed, why do you think no kennel has perfected their own strain of just the blue dog, the color, but they got like say the Mayday strain, the Bolio or whatever,
Well,
but they dogs
I
blue.
really can't answer that question, but I can speak on the behalf of the watchdog blue dogs that we run. And the reason why is because they were never originally thoroughbred dogs. They were
But
hung
but
dogs that were finessed into the UKC and ADBA. But when we DNA tested them in 2022, we found American Bulldog in the embark.
yeah,
So we know for a fact that Beelzebub was not a thoroughbred American Pit Bull Terrier. He came off a dog called Watchdogs White Fang that was an American Bulldog. Now,
yeah,
everybody in the watchdog community knows that, and that's the reason why these dogs were shunned and frowned upon, because they were not thoroughbred American Pit Bull Terriers.
yeah,
But that doesn't mean that they were never game dogs. They were
yeah.
always game dogs.
Yeah. Now I'm just wondering why, like, because you could take a bully with no gameness in it, period, and breed it with the gamest, one of the best breeding gamest pit bulls it is, and select breed and keep the best ones off that litter, and breed them all back to pit bulls from there, and just keep them because of their color, because they blue. They're gonna sell faster because they blue. Them blue, not necessarily in the game dogs, but people like blue color dogs. But if you got a
Yeah.
dog, that's totally game and he blue color, you'll be different than all the people who are here selling this and selling that. You had a top of the line game
Well,
dogs
to
and
be
they be
honest
blue.
with you, my OG Sam McCool used to sell those dogs for 1,000, and all his litters were sold out before they even touched the ground. And I honestly believe, to be real with you, because he had these dogs, 15 years ago, before there was ever such thing as a bully, before there was ever such thing as a blue tri bully, let alone he had blue
Yeah,
tri pit bulls that were blue. You see what I'm saying? They
yeah,
were ADBA registered blue tri pit bulls at the time. Now, I'd already explained that they weren't thoroughbred. We know
oh yeah, yeah,
Beelzebub, the
yeah,
history, whatever, and they had AKC staffs in them. But that was all back in the day stuff. You see what I'm
yep,
saying?
yep,
Now, those dogs now in 2022 is reclassed as bullies. But the fact of the matter is, like I said, the strand of individual particular dogs. He bred game dog to game dog, and now I still have dogs that are game and they're blue, and they've been put on hogs. They've been tested. We done seen them run through the ringer, and they retired brood. I have a dog called Doofy right now that people didn't know, they know that dog's a good dog.
yeah,
And that's the only reason why he stayed around. I don't even own blue dogs or what I consider bullies anymore. I really just am focused on the American Pit Bull Terrier. So I got every non-game dog about my yard.
yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? And I would consider them bullies. So I consider them non-game dogs, because even though we use them for hog hunting, they are not the same as a pit bull. And my focus is just simply in the pit bulls right now.
yeah.
Last year I was focused on the bullies and all that, but this year I decided to focus on Patterdales and pit bulls.
I hear a
And I
lot of
might
people.
alternate. The next
I
year after, I might get back into, the bullies or the Malinois or whatever.
Yeah, I hear a lot of people talking about them Patterdales, man. A lot of people talking about getting into the Patterdales.
Well, the Patterdale people that I know, they don't sell dogs. So it's not about, I'm going to make this fancy dog and sell it to the next person. And I
Yeah,
also noticed they don't inbreed brother, sister, them dogs like that either, because the Patterdale gene pool is already really tight. They're already related.
yeah,
So when you breed them, you don't want to breed them tight because they already tight. So
okay,
you want to breed them to the same line, but not, directly related.
yeah,
And that's how you keep the vigor up in them dogs. And from what I've seen, the cooling process in them dogs is very strict. So the Patterdales are evolving also, and they getting better each generation from selectively breeding for the traits that people want in these dogs. And the Patterdale that I have is probably better than any pit bull I've ever owned when it comes to gameness and just drive in general.
yeah. I heard it pretty game. I heard them things game.
Well, the level of driving them dogs is insane.
Mm,
They
damn.
have, the way I could describe it is to have the gameness of a pit bull, but the drive of a Malinois.
How they act towards people naturally.
Uh, Naturally, they like pit bulls. They normally are very human friendly. But
Okay.
I have met some Patterdales that was just all around aggressive towards any other animals, humans, dogs, whatever. They just flat out is aggressive.
Oh
I
damn.
met a couple Patterdales that was like that. They insane. But that's what happens when you inbreed them. You see what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. With the working dogs and shepherds and the miles, they don't do a whole lot of inbreeding either. They mostly keep that gene pool kind of big.
I,
You know what I'm
I
saying?
actually inbred shepherds, and I got a lot of defects.
You did?
We did a father-daughter breeding with a Czech wolf dog to a Malinois, and what happened was the dogs came out with intestines out off the
Damn.
rip. The dogs came out, the litter came out smaller. The puppies came out more frail and fragile, so more of them died.
Yeah,
And then they came out just in general smaller.
yeah, yeah.
Because the first time we bred them, we got big dogs. When we inbred them, we got 60, 50-pound dogs, somewhere up in there. So
Damn.
they came out smaller, weaker, and then they moved slower. The
Okay.
original ones, by 4 weeks, they had their eyes open, they were running around.
Yeah, yeah.
These things were 6 weeks, their eyes were barely open.
Damn. Yeah, that I'm glad you told me that because I I wouldn't do too much tight breeding, but I was thinking about doing a father daughter breeding or something like that one time.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you told me that because I'm gonna just go ahead and stick to what I've been doing, just keeping my
We
gene
got
pool big.
we got one dog out of the whole litter that came out not defective.
Damn,
Literally,
damn.
I sat there and watched every pup and deemed them defective from birth because I could just tell. When you
Yeah,
touch them, I produced at least 30 to 50 of those dogs. So when we finally did the inbreeding and I seen how they came out, I was like, man, dude. And my guy Tyler agreed. We were like, man, these are some cools.
yeah, yeah.
One of them actually came out with the vagina of the dog was like inside out. So my boy thought it was a male, and I picked it up, and I'm like, dude, this is a female. And that dog died at 6 months old, just naturally. Just,
Damn.
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's best to breed them out.
Yeah, we didn't cool it. We just gave it away to a pet home, and it died anyway.
Oh
So
damn.
yeah, I don't, the shepherds. I don't know what it is about inbreeding them, but from my personal experience,
Yeah.
it's gonna go sour real quick.
Okay. Okay. Yep. I feel you on that. I definitely ain't doing no inbreeding with my shepherds. I'm gonna keep it big, man. I'm gonna keep that gene pool big. All right. Let me ask you this real man. Coming up in the dog game, what do you look for in an older dog man as far as if you saying, oh, I'm gonna put him on a team, he a cool older guy or whatever.
Honesty.
Honesty.
I feel like a lot of these old dog men were not honest at all,
Yeah.
and that reflects on the dogs we have today. Because if we are going off of what they said and breeding the dogs to what their standard of how they want their line to be kept, and they lied and finagled and all that, it makes a difference in these dogs that we have today. Because Mr. Winston always brings out, throwbacks happen, like Shorty's Cochran Cowboy.
Yeah.
uh you're gonna get dogs that come back looking like, you know, those dogs from the past. For instance, the watchdog stuff, when we inbred it for 4 generations in a row, and the result was the dogs' attitudes didn't change. They all came out clones of each other. They all act the same. They all game. They all act identical because they're all identical copies of each other.
Yeah.
But the physical looks of the dogs, some of the dogs came out looking like English bulldogs with no tails, underbites, all the bulldog genes that was added in from that American bulldog, even though it was 17% of the dog. Those genes came back out and basically made English bulldogs 4 generations later, when the original dogs that we bred together were confirmation correct to the pit bull standard.
Yep. I feel you on
So
that.
the dogs ended up being trash, but not because not their attitude and their gameness did not change. What changed was the physical look of the dog because of the throwbacks and the inbreeding. And not all of them came out with kink tails. Some of them still came out looking like pit bulls 4 generations later. But the
Yeah.
majority of them were defective.
Damn.
And they weren't defective as in gameness, because some people will say, shit, if the dog's still game, I'll still breed it. And I'm one of them people, because I had a ugly ass dog named Jabba, and I was fixing to breed him because the desired traits that I wanted in that dog, he did anything I told him to do. He was very loyal. He listened. He was probably one of the best dogs I ever had in my life. But physically, the dog was deformed. He had bad legs. He had everything about the dog. The dog was a train wreck,
Damn.
you know. And I'm glad I never really bred that dog. But the kennel, they call that kennel blindness.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
when the
Yeah.
dog act like how you want it to act, you like, well, shit, he performed, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of these pit bulls was bred, the reason why most pit bulls aren't perfect is because people kennel blindness bred defective dogs. And
Yeah.
I just came to a point in my life where I don't want to breed any defects into any dogs into my line.
I feel you on that, dog. Hey, if you can have one old male and one old female to start your yard up right now, you know what I'm saying? Or any male or female to start your yard up right now, and to keep going from there, what would it be? Who would it be?
It would have been my boy Working Line Saint to Triggs Rosie. I still got Rosie, but when I bred them dogs, they never took because the male was sterile. You see what I'm saying? He became sterile at a young age from, I don't know, it might have been because I fed him retriever. Might have been because I shot him up with too much penicillin. Might have been because I let him hit random wild animals in the woods. Nobody really knows why the dog became sterile, but at one point in time, the dog stopped breeding. So when I did the breeding, it never took. And those dogs were the heaviest Dunlap blood in the world. And Paul Dunlap died in 2013, and his bloodline pretty much went extinct. Now, these dogs were some really good dogs. In Missouri, they were very known, and there were some winners and title dogs. They was mostly weight pool ace dogs,
Yeah.
but a lot of people get it twisted. They think because the dog's a weight pool ace dog, the dog's gameness ain't there. But them dogs proven to me that they have the attitude and the desired traits that I want in them dogs. But Saint died, in a hog hunt, and Rosie's too old. She's 14, so I never got to breed them two dogs. But if I would have bred them dogs, that probably would be the only line of dogs that I'd run.
Okay. Right now. All right. So let me ask you this right here. What dog has been on your bucket list for the last couple years that you've been thinking about getting and you ain't got yet when you've
Okay,
been.
so I had an obsession with the macho buck line,
Yeah. Okay.
and
Half the
I
country
watched,
probably did. Half the country
yeah,
probably
yeah,
did.
I watched generation upon generation of what those dogs produced, and I seen good ones, I seen bad ones, I seen ugly ones, I seen beautiful ones, and I'm gonna be honest with you, from experience and just having Red Boy Jocko dogs and Eli dogs. Honestly, from all the experience I had in these dogs, my favorite cross now is Jeep to Eli.
Cheap Eli.
Red Boy Jeep Eli. So that's pretty much the direction I'm going in. I never really favored Floyd Boudreaux's dogs because of the looks. But when I started getting into the Eli dogs, the gameness and traits of them dogs and the ratio of the way they produce, I like it a lot more than the Red Boy Jocko Bolio Tombstone dogs, because I had a lot of dogs that were promising off of the Bolio Tombstone and Red Boy Jocko line. They were very promising dogs, and they quit around 3 years old, 4 years old. Late. They didn't quit early on in life. They quit later on in life,
Yeah.
and I never really seen none of the Eli blood that I've ever had turn.
I feel
They
you on
never even
that.
showed no signs of being a quitter. What they lacked was the strength and the tenacity of the RBJ and Bolio Tombstone line. They
Yeah.
lacked the structure, but I don't think those guys cared about structure. They cared about the gameness of the dogs. That's why them
Yeah.
dogs act the way they act. Versus, most of the people who are breeding for the macho buck and those kind of dogs, they're pedigree riders. They take a fancy pedigree, put a fancy pedigree, and they say, "Oh, this is that fire." Versus, we
Yeah.
take Midnight Cowboy, the trashiest dog in all pit bull history, and breed it to macho buck. Now we got Cowboy Macho Buck. That's not a breeding. They didn't care about the pedigree in that breeding. They bred a badass dog to a badass dog.
Yeah.
So I used to diss the Cowboy dogs, and I didn't like them because I didn't feel that they were thoroughbred American Pit Bull Terriers until I seen how gangster them dogs actually were. And it's if they weren't thoroughbred dogs and they've been around this long and people still talking about them, then they must have been great fucking dogs.
Yeah. You're right. You're right, bro.
So even though they pedigree, in my opinion, is trash, they work. And versus a dog that got a great pedigree, because I've gotten dogs that had immaculate pedigrees, and when they hit this yard, they get cooled. Trash.
Hey. Yeah. Them pedigrees ain't gonna lead you in the right direction.
I had a pure Cottingham dog, and I ended up pet homing it. You see
Damn.
what I'm saying?
Yep.
Pet homed it. Bye bye. So what I've been doing is, like I said, I'm not really focused on breeding dogs anymore. What I'm trying to do, what I didn't do the first time, is obtain dogs from great dog men that I respect, and I respect a program. And I'm trying to obtain dogs from them and just hold down my own yard and prove everybody's worth. Every
Yeah.
dog prove his gameness. Every dog prove his worth. And I probably won't breed these dogs until they 6 years old. You
Yeah.
know, unless I certainly feel in my heart that I got a game dog to a game dog, let's go ahead and lock that in.
Yeah. I feel you
You
on
know,
that. Mm-hmm.
and because they're crosses, I'm not expecting every dog to be game like my boy Sam's dog. Sam's dogs wasn't a cross; it was two proven inbred dogs, inbred together. But like I said, eventually the dogs physically became defective.
Yeah.
So
So
I don't want that either. So that's
nah.
why I'm starting my family of dogs with a scatter breeding, and then I'll inbreed from there. Just lock in those traits that I want.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel you on that, man. It'll work. It'll work that way too. It'll work that way. Yeah, but I ain't gonna hold you here too long, my brother. I appreciate you coming. But before you leave, I do got
Yes,
one
sir.
one more question for you. Um, what advice would you give the younger brothers younger than yourself coming up in the dog game? If you could tell them one thing, to help them steer them in the right direction as far as their yard, what would you tell them?
Don't well from my personal what I wish somebody would have told me when I started breeding pit bulls. The female is the most important piece of the breeding because the dogs come out of the female.
Yeah,
So if your female dog is a cold dog or a cur dog, she's not worthy of being bred because you're gonna produce dogs that act just like the mama.
yeah,
It, there ain't no way you're gonna produce a litter of dogs and one or two of those dogs don't come out like the mama. So everybody, from my opinion, for the last 100 years in this pit bull game, has been focused on the male dogs, and they pretty much act like the female dog don't matter. But from every successful program and every successful line that I've ever seen, it was the game female that passed on that trait to the offspring with the help of the father. It made a difference. You can't just
yeah,
take, but I feel like the female's just as important as the male. So if you're gonna start any program of dogs, you need to start with the basis of a solid female, and breed it to a solid male, and you'll get good dogs. Now, the first pit bull breeding I ever did was a cur male to a colt female.
Yeah.
And then I tried to throw ADBA dogs in there. I tried to get my ratio up. And then when I was 4 generations later and my dog quit, I knew why. I knew why she quit, because I started with quitters.
Yeah. Yeah.
I started with dogs that didn't want to crank up. So even though I threw all this game fancy Jocko, Jeep, Bolio, pedigree, grand champion is, grand champion that, even though I threw all of that into my line, when I fell short, I blamed it on them traits that came from them first 2 dogs that I bred in. And I had old heads telling me not to breed those dogs before I bred them. I didn't listen to them because I felt like they were hating.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily feel like they was hating now, because they was trying to put me on to better dogs. It costs money. You gotta pay for quality. You know, or you gotta get in good with an OG, and they might gift you a dog.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
but early on in the game, like I said, starting with Craigslist dogs, and then I got a dog from Northland Kennels that was pure old family red. And the dog was a beautiful 80-pound dog, but he was a straight cur.
Damn.
And
Straight
nobody
cur.
told me the dog with Castillo was a cur line. Everybody, when you go on the group right now, old family group, and talk about Castillo dogs, you'll have 100 different people swear up and down them dogs is gangster dogs, and they this and they that. But from my experience, just breeding in one cur Castillo dog cost me 4 generations later after the Jeep Red Boy Jocko.
Damn. Damn.
So I would never breed a dog with Castillo into it expecting to get game dogs ever again. And that's just my personal, from experience. You know,
Yeah.
I didn't learn this from some old head told me. I learned this from experience. I took that coat, that cur, and the thing about it is, when I did that breeding, I didn't know the male was cur. I had no idea he was a cur because I never seen him go and I never seen him quit, and he used to bite motherfuckers. So we thought the dog was a gangster because
Yeah.
he was a man biting dog. But turns out, when one day he tangles into one of my shepherd stopped him.
Damn.
You see what
Hey,
I'm saying?
it made you feel bad about him, didn't
Yeah. I was like, man, this dog, we thought he was the toughest shit in the world. This motherfucker he done tuck face. And that's it. Because, you know, a shepherd gonna stop as soon as he tuck face. So he tuck face, and that was it. Oh, look, he a
Damn.
face tucker. That's what I
Yeah.
learned what a cur was. I didn't even know exact. I heard a lot of people use the word cur in the terminology, but he was the first bulldog I ever seen cur out. He tucked his face, you know,
Damn.
and I was like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Damn.
Okay, he's a goddamn cur. Okay, you know, and that just came from experience. Like I soaked in the game gradually, you know,
Yeah.
and then when I bred Saint to his daughter that we proved game, we got Mouse, and she was a very promising dog. You know, she was hitting the young hogs. She was going out there acting wild. I mean, I thought she was the shit. We took her into a big hog, and she quit.
Damn.
And that was it.
Damn.
And that told me everything I needed to know. And I from that point forward, I scratched my whole program.
Yes, sir.
You know
I
what I'm
feel
saying?
you. I feel you on that.
I said I'm gonna go back to them Eli dogs because they wasn't tucking face. You know,
Hey.
but
It's,
you know, so the dogs I got now are predominantly Eli, but they are every Eli dog I got right now got Red Boy Jocko and Jeep in it.
yeah. Yeah.
So they not the same as they was not in the 90s or any of that. These
Yeah.
are modified futuristic
Oh yeah.
dogs.
Oh yeah, man. Everything done changed up, man. You can't say the Eli dogs are the same Eli dogs with the same
No,
doing the
it
same
looked
exact
like an
thing.
Eli dog, but one of these damn dogs got Macho Buck in
They cross all kind of
it.
they cross all kind of ways these days, man. You might see a black dog and think this is straight Eli, and this dog ain't
Yeah,
nothing but off a straight red boy dog or something. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Ain't
something else.
yes, sir. Ain't no telling. But I appreciate you coming in with me today, man. I appreciate you coming in
I
with me
got
today.
I got one more comment. It's a
All right,
guy
all
who
right.
said, my boy Gary Hammond said, every dog will quit eventually, right?
Yeah,
My reply to that was, what Gary Hammond was born 60 something 70 years ago, something like that, right?
Yeah.
So back then, them
Hold on.
boys didn't
Hold on.
have American Pit Bull Terriers. They had Staffs and Bulldogs.
Hold on for a split second, bro. Hold on.
Yo,
I'm back. I'm back, bro.
yeah, like I was saying, Gary Hammond's, he had Staffs and Bulldogs. Plummer's Alligator wasn't the same as the American Pit Bull Terrier that we got now. It's not even close. So a man who had Staffs and Bulldogs and was in the process of weeding out the good from the bad,
Mm-hmm.
cooling it and creating a breed. We cannot compare the dogs that Mike Medina got in 23 to the dogs Gary Hammond got in 67.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Nah, you can't do
You
that.
know, you can't do that. So
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
when they do try to do the comparison, it's irrelevant to me because how I look at it is if your dogs ain't up to speed by now,
Yeah.
there's somebody messed up somewhere.
Yep. Yep.
Somebody didn't keep it 100 somewhere because when I watch the way that these Patterdales, each generation is getting even more grittier, how come the Pit Bull's not doing that?
Too much inbreeding, probably.
And the inbreeding too, but the inbreeding, like I said, from what I've seen, inbreeding doesn't affect gameness. If the dog's already got it, you know, they it's not gonna affect the gameness trait, it's gonna affect the physical ability of the dog.
Yeah.
Bowed legs. Dogs with
Yeah.
straight stifles
Yeah.
can't perform the same way as dogs that got correct stifles.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right
You
about
know what I
that.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
A
Yep.
broken dog ain't gonna work like a working dog. I mean,
Yeah.
the broken dog might have more heart and cur out the good shaped dog, but in all reality, everybody's always focused on the wrong things in these dogs. If we trying to make this breed better, then it don't matter who will cur out who, what will stop what will do this, what will do that. What matters is us making confirmation correct dogs that have the right attitude, in
Yep.
my opinion.
Yep.
That's a
Yep.
full package dog.
Yep. You're 100% correct, bro. You're 100% correct. You know what I'm
The
saying?
dog I got this inbred off Cowboy, she don't even look like Cowboy. She look like Eli Jr.
Oh damn.
You see
Damn.
what I'm saying?
Yep. Shit. Let me know when so I can see how them pups turn out when you do some breedings with them, man. When you make some breedings,
Yeah,
so
it's it's gonna be a while. I'm gonna try to champ out the male that I got ADBA, and the female that I got, she's real hot. She's showing good signs. We're gonna take her out into some hogs soon. Try to get it up on the YouTube and whatnot. But from what I've seen from that dog and just the genetics, the way that dog's been acting since she was 6 months. A lot of people say they start early, they quit early. But I like I said, my experience with this Eli dogs, man, when they are with the shits from a young age, they usually just stay that way.
yeah,
They usually just stay stuck on with the shit. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah.
That's my personal opinion. A good dog is a good dog. A cur dog is a cur dog, and a cold dog is a cold dog. That I don't understand why people, try to make something that it's not. If
Mm-hmm.
BKK's bringing cold dog to game dog or cold dog to cold dog, then that's BKK's problem. His program. I wish the best to him, but you would never hear working line canine breed no cold pit bull ever
Yeah,
because I did that in the past, and what did I get? I got dogs that I got the same result.
yeah. I feel
You
you
know what
on
I
that,
mean?
man.
I got the
Mm-hmm.
same result 3 generations later. So I'm speaking on behalf of my own experience. Everybody probably had their own experience.
Yeah,
Now it might have been people out there that bred cold dogs and got nothing but game dogs afterwards. But from my personal experience, you get to breeding cold dogs and cur dogs in your line, it's gonna come back out.
yeah, yeah.
You
You
know what I
right, bro.
mean?
Yep.
The next generation might be hot. It might be fire. It might be the shit. But then the third generation after that, when you get a quitter,
Yep.
you know why.
Yep. You're right.
You know, and when we
Yep.
buy dogs from people, they don't tell us, oh, so and so in the third gen was a cold cur, so and so in the fourth gen was a cold cur. You either know or you don't.
Yep. You either know
So
or you
that's
don't.
why, you know, you asked earlier, how do I buy my dogs? Usually, when I buy dogs, I buy them from people that I've studied their line and watched multiple generations be produced.
Yeah.
And if I feel like they produce consistency of good game dogs, then that's kind of what I go for. Like even like BKK, I liked a lot of his dogs. I thought he had a good consistency of good game dogs going. He's got a nice attitude, but then you hear the negative side of it and all the haters talking. I don't know if the haters are necessarily being truthful because they haters.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You gonna always have haters what you're doing, man. Some people, like I always say, some gonna like it, some ain't, man. Some gonna like it,
Some gonna
some
like
ain't.
it, some ain't.
You gotta keep it pushing, man. And always remember, like I said, I made a song back in the days. They gonna hate, but they still gonna play, man. They gonna hate, but they still gonna get it. The
You
ones
made
that
a
hate,
song?
I'm talking about way back in the day when I was a young
Yo,
teenager,
Pelican Bay
man.
was rapping back in the days.
Man, I done did it all, man. I done did it all, man. Rap, DJ, everything, man. I done did it all. I'll
Oh,
start
that's it.
DJing. I'll rapping first, you know what I'm saying, and start DJing
Yeah,
because the rap shit was more like uh I couldn't control my destiny because I couldn't get in the studio like I wanted to. The
yeah,
engineer was bullshitting around here and there, and
yeah,
I wanted to drop tracks. I couldn't get in the studio like I want to, so I started DJing because I control my own destiny. I got them turntables at the
yeah.
crib. You know what I'm saying? I
You
got my
get on
little
that mic? Yeah, yeah.
man. Yeah, I do all that. I did all that, man.
Oh,
Yeah,
that.
I had my own hour on the radio station. The hour, radio station on this side, like
Yeah.
probably like 4:35 o'clock. And like
Oh, man.
2009, I had my own hour after work
Oh, yeah.
traffic. Yeah, after work traffic. Man, I done did that. Hey, that's why I tell you. That's why I tell y'all, boy, man. If y'all got tracks and stuff, give me that type of stuff, or whatever. Let me mix it in the shows and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But when
Yeah,
I say stuff about cursing, I'm only speaking from a DJ standpoint.
yeah.
People don't like to really hear a whole bunch of cursing. You know what I'm saying? If you look at all the MCs they consider the greatest, like Nas, Eminem, this person, that person,
Yeah,
Nas will give you a classical, a historical verse with not one curse word in it. You know what I'm saying? I was always told if you can rhyme, you could do it without cursing. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And make it sound gangster without even cursing in it. You know what I'm saying? But you know how it is. You know what? I know how it is. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
yeah,
I used to write raps, but I felt like I'd say so much, I'd say too much. It'd be too
yeah.
complicated, too complex, too much metaphors, too much trying too hard. Is how I looked at it.
Hey, that's probably what it was with me too, man. When
And
I
then when I just started, I don't record no. Now I just get on a mic and just talk poop. I don't know if people appreciate it or not, but I do.
yeah,
And it's just but I don't take rap too serious. I'm a dog man. And I say that in my rap songs. I ain't no rapper. I'm a motherfucking dog man. I just rap because I can rap and I got a YouTube and it's just extra content how I look at it. But all the rap songs that I've been doing off my phone and stuff because, like you said, I can't get an engineer to get right. When I go in the studio, they playing around. I pay people and had them blackball me on the track, do all that extra stuff. So
yep.
that's just how I go in that game, man. So for me, I just rap on the YouTube. It just at convenience, you know what I'm saying? And
Ain't nothing wrong
if
with
I
that,
blow,
man.
I blow. If I blow, I blow. If I don't, I'm still working line Canine.
Oh yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But yeah, man, I got my brother working line K9 in here with me tonight. I appreciate everybody who checking the video out. Shout out to Working Line K9. I appreciate you again, brother, for coming in here with me tonight. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all the bulldoggers from the east to the north to the south to the west. All the bulldoggers across the world. Y'all stay legal out there and no, we do not condone anything illegal. You know what I'm saying? Like I always tell you, stay on the other page, if you talking about something like that, you know what I'm saying? But y'all have a good night. Y'all stay safe out there. And know it's PBK9s love you. Peace.
I'm not a writer.
Okay.
Give up on my way. Oh, yeah. Wouldn't it be crazy? crazy? Wouldn't it be crazy?